Yeah. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Hi, everybody.
This is I'm Dr. Gail, and this is Terry holding your space. And of course, I dropped some juicy information to Terry, and she dropped some juicy information to me right before we went live. Um, but I'm not so sure we'll be sharing all that juicy information yet. That will be later.
That might be a Zoom event.
Yeah, that will. Well, I talked a little bit about it with Mary on one of the shows, so we'll
Oh,
see.
good.
We'll see.
Okay. Okay.
So let me say hello to some people coming in here. Hey, Liz Daly. Hey, Ginger Sky. Um, hey, Tina. Oh, I hadn't seen you in a while, Tina. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Hey, Rossi. Let's see here. Hey, Viviani. Thanks for joining. Everybody saying hey to everybody. Hey,
Hey,
Leah.
hey, hey.
And there's Terry holding your space, and there's me. And that was Terry going in as me.
Yeah. Yeah. We had to figure out some things.
Yeah, we had technical stuff going on as we always do, but we pulled it all out right before the show started. Hey, Debbie with Three Shifting Veils. Hey, Diane G. Hey, Suzanne Fortier. I still haven't gotten any information, Suzanne, about those three angels around you. They will not let me in. They are, whatever they're doing to you, they just want it between you and them. And but they look at me when I come around. They're okay with me coming around, but they just won't let me in. So, hey,
Wow.
yeah, she was on the last show and was asking about wanting a reading, and I just saw three angels around her, and they're working on her brain, and they're doing something to her, and they are surrounding her where I can't get the information of what they're doing. It's only going. I think she's going to find out before I ever find out. So, hey, Son of What? Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Emmy J. Hey, did someone say shenanigans?
I
um,
love that name.
yeah, I do too. And let's see. We will be taking questions in a little while. We're going to be talking about water this morning. Hey, Laurie Huntsinger. Hey, Julie Hamill. Hey, Imagine with Me Shamanic Journeys. Oh, that's
That's
great.
Brenda.
That's
Yeah.
You know that person?
Yeah. That's Brenda. She has an amazing channel. And
Oh, what's her channel? Is that her channel name?
that's her channel name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you could put a link in there, Brenda, to your channel, so everybody can. I don't know if you want to do that or not. If somebody said that to me, I don't think I'd know how to do that in the chat. Would you, Terry?
Yeah.
I
I've
can
done it before, but you're better off going to YouTube yourself and doing it because they have told me that if you do it through a link and another on a show, that it only lasts for like 48 hours or a week or something.
Really, I didn't know that. That's good information for everybody. Uh,
Yeah.
so go to her channel, Imagine with Me, Shamanic Journeys, and I'm going to write that down right now so I can check that out.
Yeah. She has a very soft touch and she comes in. I think she channels. She's not sure if she does or not, but you go and look and see, and she's
So just in her name, Shamanic Journeys, she's channeling.
yeah,
There you go. So
yeah,
it
I
might
agree.
it might be channeling in a different way, and which is really good. I like people who channel or and who are not going on their, the strict path on how it should look. Because my journey has never looked the same as anybody else's. I don't think yours has either, Terry. I think we
Yeah.
walk to the beat of our own drummer and have to find our own way. Um, so, hey, Jen Bowles, Visionary Gal. What another good name. So,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us. Say, hey, Louise Folt. Hey, Linda Frazier. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Julie Hamill. Hey, Patricia Sullivan. And let's see, everybody's saying hi to each other here. Um, who else? Hey, CJ. Let's see who else. Hey, Garnet Mac Leary Price.
Oh, what a beautiful name.
Yeah, Garnet McLeary Price. That's another good name. Thanks for
Very Bay.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, who else is here? As I said, hey Janet Rainbows and Moonbeam, and Suzanne's Suzanne's saying her journey is like being lost in a corn maze.
Yep, on your path. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes. And hey, Carl. And there's Tina again. Hey, Mary Lau. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us today. As I said, you can put some questions in, and I'll start starring them, and we'll get to them later. But we're going to be discussing water today. So Terry, you want to start off with that?
Yeah. So we do a lot with water in our meditations on my channel. And today I was leading a meditation in person. And they were taking us into the waters with it. And it's kind of a journey. Actually, we went through a tree to get there, and through the roots, and then the tectonic plates, and then into the waters. But it's like I think we're being called to abide right now.
Yeah,
And
I always go through a tree when I go on a journey. I always I always go with my main guide into the tree. Then we go down and meet all my other spirit guides and animals and everything that I'm going to meet to go on the journey with me. Which I've just recently, I have my lion, a crow, and my white rabbit that goes with me. Well, just recently, I had to go rescue a horse, and it was a brown horse in a crowd, and it was being attacked by a lion or tiger or something, some big cat it was being attacked by, and I went and rescued it. And then it said it wanted to join me on my journeys. And I'm going, okay, but it's difficult because some of my journeys are climbing cliffs and things like that. And I said, and sometimes we're having to lift the lion up. And I said, it's going to be hard to do a horse. All of a sudden it turned white with wings. It turned into the Pegasus. And so now I've got him coming with me on my journeys now. So he's showing me he can fly up there. I don't have to worry about him.
I bet he can take that lion with him too. If he cares to.
That'd be great. That's great because when I'm climbing, I'm having to have a backpack and I've got the rabbit with me, and that poor little rabbit's being so treasured and protected. But anyway, yeah. So I've got a new person or new horse or Pegasus that has joined me, and I asked him. I said, "What are you, white horse with wings?" And he goes, "Pegasus." I go, "Okay, well that makes sense."
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, I feel like this week, I don't know about you guys, but if you were on my channel on Friday, I had to get off really quick. I didn't feel great that morning. I thought I want to meditate, and I love my group, so I went on, and then I had to get off real quick. But,
Yeah.
And they had sent me messages all week of slow down. Like I kind of pulled something in my back when I was putting potting soil into my basket at the hardware store, and hitting the snooze button 4 times before I could get out of bed, and each time going into a deeper level of sleep. Oh, thanks, Viviani. Hit the 3 dots at the end of the comment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. Thanks, Viviani, because on YouTube, she says on YouTube, if you click on the 3 dots at the end of the comment, you can choose to go to the channel and subscribe to it at Teri at Holding Your Space. So that makes it a lot easier to do that. Now, I wonder how long that'll last if you click on it that way. That would be interesting to see.
That would be interesting.
That disappears after 48 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do feel like going into that water and abiding and letting go of the old stuff and just being the water, kind of knowing it. And, we're really being called to use our senses, our physical senses, but then also our subtle senses, knowing, remembering, and remembering who we are. So what about you, Dr. Gail?
I'm just clicking names.
Oh, you're working, so don't mess with me.
Now I'm listening and working, but you know how it is. You got one ear listening to the other. But
it's a lot.
When we were Terry and I were talking about water and how the subject came up, and it gets on a personal level for me. Is how the subject started, and I'm clicking at the same time. Just this week, I don't know people have heard my journey. I work with the ETs very closely. I've gone on rescue missions, saving ETs and humans from either or. And I've gone worked on spaceships, and I've been a neurosurgeon on one, and I've been a communications person on another. Anyway, I have a whole long journey of working on a spaceship. Well, I started going to a spaceship as a infant. I was weeks old when I started going up, and they put me in a room, and I had like a mother on the spaceship. And so the mother on the spaceship would hold us, and then she had a guy also, as a boy and a girl, and she'd put us in this crib or this incubator and would hook us up to different equipment and then switch out to the other one. So when I was in there, she was holding the boy, and when I was out, she was the boy was in there. Anyway, we were switched back and forth, and starting another one. So she anyway, and then after we're finished, she would put us in, it's almost like a bouncy house room. It was round, and it was at her waist level, and it was almost like shoving us in like a pizza. And it was like where I think we recuperated before we went back home. And so anyway, all this time, and then she was with me when we were learning how to work with disc and all these other, anyway, and I was always clinging to her leg because I was afraid a lot of times, or being an introvert, didn't want to join in on the group, and I'd hang on to her leg, which she allowed me to do it. She allowed me to be comfortable. She was very mothering. Well, I just saw her face, her body, her everything today. She just introduced herself to me, which surprised me because all this time I just assumed she was a Palladian, because Palladians look very much similar to us. But no, she turned out to be, she's a aqua being from Sirius B, and she had a medium blue face, and she is a hybrid. She's human, aqua being hybrid. And she had a blue face, and she had scales that started back about a third of the way back on her head, and they're iridescent with like aqua blue, silver that were iridescent, and went down all the way back to her body. And another thing was that she had a long, skinny tail on her back. So I just met her, and it's taken me I just met her yesterday, and it's really taken me back by meeting her. Her name was Abba Torsi, and I called her Abba, and she was even telling me that when I was learning to speak, I was having trouble when I was learning my mother's name, going mama or mom, and her is Abba, and I was going back and forth on that. And so anyway, so I have just learned, and then she told me that they have recently put her DNA in me. So that has been within probably the last month or 2 months that they've done that they've upgraded me with her DNA. And that's why I've now been experiencing working with the water, or I worked with a merman, and then I've also seen myself changing with her scales, turning into a shark into the water. So I've been having all these things happening with me with the water, and apparently they have upgraded me with her DNA. I know that's a lot. It's a lot for me to take in, and a lot to me to absorb. That's how we started with the water. And then the messages I got today is that we're supposed to be flowing like water. We are, of all this energy coming in, that we should immerse ourselves in water. So it would dissipate this energy that's coming in. It'll make it easier. It'll make us accept it more. And they said to take showers, baths. You can listen to the waterfall. They want you to listen to moving water. You can have sounds of the moving water that will help dissipate the energy. And anyway, that's what we were talking about before. Of course, Teri, you can expand on all that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've talked about going with the wave a lot this year and watching it. Yeah.
I'm just laughing at Leah. Very fitting for a Pisces. Exactly.
Right.
It makes sense that I was born into that sign. Very much so now.
Yeah. And I feel like we're just kind of abiding through that water and watching the waves and being in the flow right now. So, there's so much that we're seeing on the planet right now, and it can be very fearful. So if you can go with the flow and watch everything happening, not be tied to the outcome of it, but watch it and go through the ups and downs and just watch yourself floating through it. Also being called it, you know how water reflects light
Yeah.
and how important that is. So going in where you can, we need a time to recharge. We need a time to rest, and we need a time to let go, to surrender. And what better way? I think lifetime and lifetime they've shown me laying in the water and just letting go and surrendering.
That's a good place to surrender, to let the water just take it away from you.
Yeah.
Dissipate the energy is what they were telling me earlier today. But Leah saying she was a fish too. So, but also, I was listening to Lee Harris this morning,
I
and he
love
was
him.
talking about, I know, I was, and he was saying very much what I've been saying a lot here lately is to become an observer, to pull yourself up above everything that's happening and look at it. Pull yourself away from the politics, be an observer. Don't immerse yourself in it. Be an observer. And he was saying that's how he does channeling, is he becomes an observer, which I thought that was very interesting. I was going, I've been saying that for weeks to everybody, to pull yourself out from your family issues, from politics, everything. Pull yourself away from the emotional, physical outcome that you have when you immerse yourself in that, and pull yourself out and become an observer. So I just thought that was very interesting that he was talking about this morning, and that's how he actually sees himself channeling, that he goes into his higher self and becomes an observer instead of being in everything. So, and he gets more information by being an observer.
Well, that makes a lot of sense for that cryptic text I sent you that I didn't send you about the Z's this
Yes,
morning.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I was like, she's like, what? And I was like, I did not send that. It came from my phone, but I did not send that.
Let's see. Annie Bear saying, who are the Z's he channels, Dr. Gail, with easy awareness is key. Yeah, he channels the Z. And how many that he has, is it 40 or something that's in that Z group? And I channel, and at one time I thought it might be the same people, because I channel they're called the Z group, and you channel Z's too. So there's a bunch of different, mine is only a group of 5. And they're like, look like mini grays, and they dress like men in black kind of thing. So
Oh, how cool.
yeah, so that, I mean, because of how I was interested, actually, I was introduced to them coming across country, going from California to here, that they introduced themselves, and then all I saw this black shoe tapping, waiting for me, tapping, 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 tapping. And I'm going, what is that shoe doing tapping up there? And it was, they were waiting for me to acknowledge them and start working with them. But
Yeah. Well, and you guys watch as things happen. Just observe, like Dr. Gill was saying. And it's interesting that when they're bringing me a message, a lot of times there'll be a Z in a name. And
yeah,
that's kind of a cue that I get.
Annie
That,
Bear, yeah. Here, do you know who they are that he's channeling? I'm not sure, Annie Bear, who they are. I know who my Z group is. Do you know who your Z's are?
um, my Z's are light bodies. They come in as light bodies. They don't come in with a physical
Yeah,
thing. And sometimes they'll wear robes so that you can see their outline, but usually they're just light bodies for me.
yeah,
He says that he would not be able to pronounce their name.
right.
That's why they said the Z's.
Right. That's
So,
um,
hey, Betsy.
and it's just saying Z's pop into my text messages. Is why I'm asking, just like the text message you sent me today. And she was
Oh,
sending you that same text message. But I think when he talks about when he says it's disease, but he makes it sound like it's his higher consciousness that he's actually channeling, and that they come in as disease. But he makes it sound like it's this, he says, whatever you want to call it, your soul, your higher self, your consciousness. But he made it sound like that's what was for him. For me, it's the ETs, but of course, what I'm a ET or alien channeler, or a medium, and of course, probably mine would show up looking like they did because that's what I'm very comfortable with because that's who I've been working with for years now.
Yeah. Yeah. And, let's see, Janet Rainbows and Moonbeams was asking, I wondered if the Z's were the Zetas.
It could very well could be for me. Yeah, it could be very much because that's what they look like. They could be, you're right. In all actuality, they did say they were from Zeta Reticuli. So, but I didn't ask them if they were Zetas because there are more beings than just the Zetas on Zeta Reticuli, the Greys and the Zetas and whatever. So, um, that's a good question. I'll have to ask them next time I'm up there because the last time they took me up there, it's been a while. They took me up and put me into like a lettuce spinner, and pieces of me started flying off. So I'm not so anxious to go up there right now. I think I'm having to recuperate from that experience.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very comfortable.
It wasn't very comfortable.
But I think we've all felt that, these past couple of weeks or the past 10 years perhaps, that, we feel like little bits are falling off and, as we're going through the spin cycle, and then we'll be clean, so to speak,
There's
cleansing.
that's how you spell it. People who were wondering what we're talking about.
Oh, thanks, Leah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I just figured that I'm just throwing off pieces that I don't need anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Letting go. And it feels like, all sorts of stuff is coming up now that you thought maybe you got rid of, but there might still be an aspect somewhere that's hidden that you're like
A fragment.
a fragment. Thank you. A fragment that you're like, oh, I forgot about you. I guess I still am harboring that, something that happened 10 years ago that somebody did and they're gone. They're like, they don't care. And maybe you're still holding it in your heart because it hurt your heart.
Yeah.
We're sensitive. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that anymore. We can let it go, and heal. Anyway, laughing it all away, Leah. Yeah. No
Yes.
stress. Yeah, in our own time, in our own good time, right? We don't have to be perfect. That's not what this planet is about.
Perfect. Don't even aspire to be that.
Right?
That would just be too more um, traumatic or a burden to be perfect. I had to let go of that a long time ago, because it is such a burden that's put on you. And I look at other people who are perfectionists, and my sister is actually one of them. And I just think, oh, how tormenting is that to have that kind of expectation of yourself to every day have to do everything perfect instead of just being you. Just here I am, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that, I feel like a lot of the younger people that are coming into the planet right now, we are perfect in our imperfections. I love that, Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the younger people feel that way, Wayne, that, they're not prescribing to the, I'm gonna get the mortgage, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get 2 kids, they're like in good time, they'll do what they want, but also they've had a lot of opportunities taken away and new opportunities coming.
Yeah.
Sarah, define perfect. I'm always perfectly myself as I am lumps and bumps and all. Oh, Sarah, I love that.
I even worked with the anesthesiologist, and I remember her having such high expectations of her, and this was years ago, and I'm just going, "Wow," she probably thinks everybody wants to be her. I would never want to be her to have to, be under that scrutiny and be under that scrutiny of yourself, not just, other people, but yourself having that scrutiny on oneself. And um, I just felt like, oh gosh, has to be tormented every day trying to be perfect.
Yeah, I think I'm glad that you said that because when we look at that old fragment of ourselves or aspect of ourselves that was hurt, um, to recognize that, oh, you're a sensitive person, that's why that hurt.
Mhm.
And now you're a strong, sensitive person,
Yeah.
surviving and surrendering.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah. I'm wondering this too, Rossi.
Rossi,
Um,
yeah.
whoop, where is it? I missed it. Has anyone heard from Maria has perfect health? I don't know. I'm hoping she'll show up here soon, but she probably does not have electricity. And so I'm going, oh my gosh, whenever a storm like that happens or hurricane, when you're the victim, or victim, I guess a victim's the right word of that, you're cut off from everyone. Everybody's having this life and they're worrying about you and they want to hear from you. Your world has gotten so small because you've been cut off from everybody. And you're and you're hoping you have a full tank of gas so you can go out and charge your phone up and things like that. She's probably immersed in her own world, which has gotten a lot smaller, trying to take care of herself and whatever happened and her neighbors. But it does change your whole perspective when something like that happens. And I think any kind of trauma that happens to everybody, that you go into your own world and you only see just a few people. But if she does get electricity, maybe by next week she'll be able to join us.
Oh, that's great. And I love that somebody just brought up Gen Z. Cheryl did. Cheryl, I never even think about that being Gen Z, but it is. They are the Zs, aren't they? Coming in.
Oh,
So,
well, that does make sense.
yeah.
What did she say? Let me see if I can find and pull it up.
At 11:25, Gen Z is helping us shed these societal expectations.
Yeah.
Gosh, cha-ching. Yeah, that hit. That's a hit.
We're probably doing it in their generation, but our generation, we got to shed some of that stuff about how we were brought up, etc. So anyway.
Yeah, we shook it up with sex, drugs, and rock and roll, though, didn't we?
Yes,
Right.
but then we moved into traditional lives. We
Yeah.
went out and bought the houses and everything. So as free as we were during that time, then we conformed.
Yeah. Yeah. Betsy says, seems like the biggest hurdle for perfectionists is the need for having one perfect answer for everything. Choosing seems to cripple them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to be perfect.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think the anguish and the agony that you're looking at yourself having to be perfect. I just think that would just be a tormented life.
Yeah. People that are really hard, people that are hard on us. And I'm going to say this about our loved ones, because a lot of times we'll have good friends or family that can be really hard on you and give you a lot of opportunities for growth. And and they're like, they might point out like different choices that you can have or always make suggestions because they love you. But loving them where they're at, because a lot of times their inner voice is doing that to them all the time.
Right.
I'm just saying that because I've had that opportunity
Oh, probably we've all had that opportunity.
on both sides of it. Yeah. Yeah. On both sides.
And here's Lee again.
When you strive for perfection, you break down the essence of true original desire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And design, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it might be part of our lesson here is to, and it is what we're supposed to be doing, being us and accepting our own selves and gifts, because everybody's kind of different and we are learning that our gifts are different. And I think that's a big process too, is you'll look at somebody on YouTube, I want to be just like them. And you can't be. You have to be you. Your gifts are your own. You have to go on your path. You might kind of mimic how they got there or hope that you can follow that path, but your own gifts are going to come out and it's going to be used in a different way.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly proved that, Gail. I mean, you were the only person around here doing what you're doing for a long time. So, and I think it's just kind of coming into not the norm, but pretty much that most people now are understanding, oh yeah, it's a huge universe. There are definitely other species out there.
Well, actually, there've been quite a few other people that have done it. They just have fallen off because it's not a big drawing of people.
Yeah.
So they have actually abandoned that kind of work because of that. And me, I'm like, I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to do it. Just go ahead. Yeah, but it is becoming more accepting.
Yeah.
But when I started, well, I mean, even still, people, even in our community, they'll still go, oh gosh, that's crazy talk over there. And it also scares them a little bit. And then they just go running off, and which to me is just perfectly normal. So I can't go running off. It's normal for me. And I'm
Yeah.
glad it is. I'm glad I don't have that fear of ETs and those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you have gone off in different pathways too on what you do that is not quite like everybody else does. And nobody can mimic what you do either.
Yeah. We get flying our freak flag. I think that's the way to handle life, right? I
Sure.
I remember being in a little crazy joint on a little island in Mexico once, and I walked in, and all these people are on the dance floor, every color, skin, and just dancing like crazy. And I'm like, wow, they are really flying their freak flag. And I'm like, and all ages, you guys, like kids and seniors and everybody's. And I'm like, okay, this is my group. This is my group. This is what I want to be.
Okay,
So,
let's see. Um, Here's just some say shenanigans. I pulled away a few times when I felt like I'm being laughed at. It took some introspection to realize that it was only my perception, not reality. And that's good. Yeah, that's good for everybody to know that. And you can pull away. And when I'm wanting, and this is going to sound terrible, I'm needing to pull away and I need to take a break from all the information coming in, I start eating sugar. Sugar is my thing to say, back off, guys. I'm eating sugar. And I'm not talking about just a little bit of sugar. I'm talking about donuts and cakes and pies or whatever. And so then when I start cleaning myself up out of sugar again, then it means I'm ready for information and everything to come in. And I know that's a terrible way to do it. Instead of just saying back off, I just passively aggressively start eating sugar.
yeah, no, it's a tool. That's a good tool. A little sugar.
Do you have a tool like that makes them kind of step back while you're going through something like that?
I probably go salty chips, I'd
Chips,
say. Yeah, but every once in a while chocolate too, but chocolate keeps me awake all night. So,
right?
I have to be careful with that. But yeah, chips, if I'm having a rough time, something salty. But,
Well, I'm not talking about just once in a while or even on a daily basis. I'm talking about when I'm needing them to back off and I start eating sugar, they back off until I start cleaning up my diet again.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I have to say I do, and you guys that follow me know that I watch a lot of, TV. If I need to regroup, I'll watch Downton Abbey
yeah,
because I've seen it all like 3 or 4 times. And I think they have 9 seasons, but I've seen it so many times, and it's soft. I don't watch the war part. The war part I don't like.
fast forward.
Yeah, I go past those seasons, but then I come into that, and it's relaxing, and but it's important to have that safe space, whether it's sugar or Downton Abbey or a sofa, where you can go and say, "Okay, this is where I reset." Yeah, your checkout.
Yeah.
Love that, Betsy.
Betsy's going, that's my checkout. Yeah. For me, when I was in chiropractic school, which is pretty, stressful, and we would have the breaks. And of course, and I was doing nursing at the time. I was in chiropractic school. So I was working and I was going to school. And so every break we had after our exams, I would go rent, this is time when you rented movies. I would rent the same 3 movies that
Yeah.
were comedies. I got a bottle of champagne and a box of cereal and of course some sugar treats, whatever. And that's how I would spend like 2 days, just that.
Wow.
de-stress, decompress, and anyway, that was my standard every time we had a break. That's first thing. Everybody leave me alone. I'm going in and just de-stressing, and that's how I would do it.
Okay. Champagne and cereal is what I'm hearing. Champagne. What cereal were you eating?
It's I don't remember what it was at that time, but I'm thinking it was Honey Bunches of Oats, and
Oh,
that's
those are good.
exactly I would be eating it out of the box. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be and drinking champagne, and everybody be going, "Oh my gosh!" And I go, "That was my standard," and have my 3 movies every time, and where you didn't have to think, and they were comedies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think it's about time for us to get into questions.
Oh, golly. Yeah.
Yeah, Earth Mama saying sometimes junk food is the best. Yes. Um, all right, here we go. I think Leah has the first question. You want to read them, Teri?
Sure.
My eyes are watering from allergies.
Oh, yeah. I'm concerned about the flash I keep hearing, the changes we will encounter, like being in heaven. Do we leave this body and no one says it? Interesting. That's a really good question, Leah.
About the changes we will encounter are like being in heaven.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are you talking about the solar flashes,
Yeah,
Leah?
Leah, we need more on this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put in a little more detail on what you're talking about, because I'm feeling like you're talking about astral traveling. And me, I change my body all the time because I am a shapeshifter and I go to different planets and take my human body off and put a different body on. And she's saying, meaning we create immediately. I'm still not quite.
On the flash event, that there are some people that says there is this flash event coming in and it'll be the 3 days, I think is what they're calling. I feel like this is what my guides tell me, because everybody gets something different, is that there's going to be spots on the earth that are going to have those. And it's more like a reset. So in that 3 days of darkness or 90 days of darkness, it's a different time frame by the group or your location geographically. Like this is certainly a reset in the Carolinas and Georgia and whatnot now, and Florida. Anybody that was, had the hurricane. There's resets with wars all around the planet as well. There's there's a rumor going around about a flash of light. Right. We are constantly getting the flash of lights, and it's kind of like some people are going to go through it like that. Now, if you're already working with the light and you're used to it and you're already absorbing it, it's going to affect your physical form differently, and you're going to watch it. You're going to observe it going around.
It's probably why we're being told to dissipate it with water. But I'm also getting that we're going underground. I'm not sure why they're saying we will be going underground. And I think that's very interesting that that we will eventually go underground to, and we're going underground to the rivers inside the earth. We will be discovering all these things.
Well, and that's where we went today in meditation.
Oh, did you?
We went underground. Yeah, we do that a lot. Because of the heat, Earth Mama. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is going to happen at some point in time. But I also feel like, for me, that there are going to be spots around the planet, and part of the reason for that, I feel like, is because we're so divisive right now. Not just the United States, but all around the world. People are like them against us. And where it's worse, then we're going to have the opportunity to reach out to our fellow beings, whether they're in the human species or the animal species or the plant species, or, angelic or galactic.
I'm wondering how quickly we're going to be going underground. Are we going to go underground in our lifetime? This isn't in our lifetime. So this is years away from us that all that kind of is going to be happening. And I think for now it's going to be spotty, like what you're talking about. hitting here and there, but eventually we will be going underground. But imagine me, Shamanic Journey says Ann Tucker. I don't know who that is. Ann Tucker's channels Angels and says we're all going to get hit with that.
Yeah, I'm, and you know, for me, it's not my truth, but you decide what's your truth.
Right.
That, and I think eventually we're going to get some heavy duty stuff, but I don't think it's in our lifetime.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
I think it was last show that I did that I was getting that we were all, half of us were going to be hit. 50% of the world was going to be hit with different events like you're talking about. It's going to be spotty, but half the world, 50% of the world is going to be getting hit with different things like that. So we have to be prepared. We might be the ones hit, but as I said, you bring it sometimes brings out it. Well, it does. It brings out the best of us. You come into a community, you have to go out of your house. You don't have electricity. You don't, and everybody starts cooking on grills together. Everybody's emptying out their freezers and refrigerators and cooking, and the restaurants are having to cook all those things. And you just show up with your plate and utensils, and people are serving you. And even our last hurricane that we had here, that was devastating, and we went out without electricity for, I think, 5 or 6 days. A friend of mine came and took a generator because everybody was dying for a cup of coffee. That's things that you miss. And so he came and put a generator in front of my street and put a coffee pot up there. So everybody had to come with their coffee mugs and things to get the cup of coffee. But that's what I think that was the main thing that I heard everybody complain about, is they couldn't get the coffee. So everybody was having to bring their coffee to put in the coffee maker and everything. But anyway, you just come together as a group.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for giving, and giving and gratitude raises your vibration faster than anything else.
Right.
I mean, when you get in that state of grace where you're giving people things, and you don't care, what they think politically or whatnot, and
There's none of that talk at that time.
yeah, it all falls away, and that goes for a lot of different ways that we've separated from each other. It's a coming together. Oh, Leah, your dream to feed the world. Yeah. Yeah. So we're all going to be together with that. And yeah, there will be a big cleansing
Right there. It's
on
this
the planet.
Lindsay saying, oh gosh, one of my favorite experiences was a grid outage in Toronto in maybe 2004. It was amazing. Barbecue outside and could see the stars and meet others on the dark roads. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as devastating it is as we learn how to come together on that.
Yeah.
Oh, Earth Mama, you make your coffee on your gas grill?
Good for
Wow.
you. I bet it's delicious. Yeah. I used to have one of those little aluminum percolators that you'd put on top of the
Yeah.
stove, and it was the best coffee ever.
I think maybe I need to get that kind of coffee pot to put on the grill.
Yeah, I've got everything set up, you guys. So I'm telling you this, but I'm also letting you know that I have extra petrol for my gas grill, and I have a small cook stove in the basement with petrol, and I have things set up, not like for a year, but if we're out of power for a couple of weeks, we're good.
Yeah.
So
I don't have any of that, and I never have done that. And because I have not done that, even though I've gone through, times where it would have been nice. But, back in 2000, when everything was going to be changed, when we went
yeah,
and the world was going to, and I was actually practicing in my chiropractic practice at that time. And I knew my business was going to go, everyone was going to go, and I was panicking and getting things together. After that, and nothing happened, I went, I will never do that again. I will never worry about that. If something's going to happen, I'm going to sit out there with a glass of wine and just let it happen.
okay. So I love that you say this, because I hear your voice saying this all the time. Because I don't want to. I don't do it out of fear anymore. I do it because I already have it, because I was already in that fear. I really thought when the pandemic hit, but like a year before the pandemic hit,
Right.
I got most of this stuff. because I felt like something was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a financial thing that was going to happen on the planet.
And I keep saying it's going to happen here in the future too. They keep saying that.
Yeah, but
again, it was supposed to happen in 2000.
yeah. So I'm just like most of this stuff I've already got. So yeah.
You're prepared. And I might be more like that if my children were living with me. Or if I
Yeah.
had children living with me, I probably would be a lot more wanting to take care of them. But it's just me and my pets. And so I'm not as much like that. But if I did have people I was taking care of, I probably would be a little more cautious and be prepared.
Yeah. I have both my kids are at home doing school still, and my nephew just moved in, my great nephew. So
Okay.
yeah, it is a lot for them. Yeah.
When we did have hurricanes, I love peanut butter. So my meals are, when that happens, is peanut butter and banana sandwiches, peanut butter and honey sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly. You think of every creation.
So healthy.
You think of
So
peanut
healthy.
butter. So, and even though we go through storms like that and we go without electricity, and that's what I'm eating for a week, I still love peanut butter, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Peanut butter is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's Ginger Sky. Go ahead and read that one.
Okay. Dr. Gail, do you have any particular music or beats playing while you're on a shamanic journey?
Yeah, I do Ginger
Sure.
Sky. I use drumming. Drumming is my thing, and I actually just pull it up on YouTube, a drumming, and I have a certain one. And when I start hearing that drumming, I immediately go into. It doesn't take me hardly anything to be able to go into the journey where I'm going into my tree and going in with my tree with my guide and finding which way I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, and which journey I'm going to take. But it's journeying. It's drumming that I listen to. Now, if I'm doing some work where I feel like I need, like if I'm writing my second book down, when I'm writing my second book, I'm putting music on, or like was it 432 hertz? Is it 430? What is the 4 something hertz? I'll put that on while I am writing my books. So those are the things I do. What do you do, Teri?
I used to use perfect silence, and that's a lot of work. That's like being perfect. So
Oh my God. Yeah.
a lot of my meditation that I do at home alone is silent meditation.
Mhm.
So, and then I lead meditations, but I used to meditate with this group when I lived down in South Florida, and they were just starting this temple, and they had Tibetan Buddhist monks that were coming in, but we were using somebody's house during the time before we got the temple. And this house had kids, and everybody would bring their kids, and it was noisy, and people were laughing. And these Buddhist monks are just sitting there and chiming, doing the chimes and the drumming, and not a second thought about what's going on around them. Like it was all a part of it. And so now I'm kind of that thing where I'm like, you know what? Let life come in and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy drumming too.
Yeah, it
And
says
music.
432 hertz. Thanks. Thanks, Rossi.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I do especially when I'm writing my book or writing books or whatever I'm writing. But yeah, I like that. I think when I hear that drumming, it takes me immediately, whereas I don't have to calm myself down like
Yeah.
how we do breathing, and we have to get everything out of our minds and like that. When I start hearing that drumming, it immediately it's almost immediate for me.
Yeah. It's important to have something like that is immediate. I think I go into my breath and senses. When I go into the senses, that
Right.
it brings me directly into where I want to go.
All right. Our next question is from Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Go ahead.
Um, Carl, question. Am I meant to become a healer? Where do I start? Thank you, Dr. Gail and Teri.
Oh, well, good question, Terry. Terry, thank you for the question. No, thank you, Carl, for the question. But I immediately I got you're already a healer. There's no. Am I a healer? Where do I start? you're already a healer. And I'm getting that big time that you're already a healer and that you've got to find your own journey. Now, but then it's like, here they're telling me this here, and then all of a sudden this came in over here. Well, he needs a course to trigger him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm getting. This other guy came in going, wait a minute, he needs a course to trigger him. But don't, your healing is already within. We just got to bring it out. And so and actually they're telling me, Carl, to start off with a medium course, to bring out, to connect is what they're trying to start off with a medium course. I don't know if you've taken any medium courses or not, but that's what they're telling me to start off with. What do you have, Teri?
He's saying, "Oh, yay!" I get that. Yeah, you're definitely healing. So the beginnings have started. You're already there. They were talking about, the first thing I heard when I read your question was your heart, healing your heart first.
Yeah.
And that's for all of us. Looking for that course guidance, and there's 3 teachers coming in, and sustenance. So, whether that's food or whatever that you're getting, but I think a lot of mediumship is about healing.
Right.
So, so that's a good place to start. Anything that calls to you, that brings you joy, Carl.
And also, you can look at Reiki, you can look at shaman, taking all those kind of things. You can do that, but I'm thinking that their trigger is the medium class.
Yeah, that is so healing. I think to do mediumship is healing, and then to receive it is so healing, and it's really healing for your heart.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. Here's Carl again.
Yeah.
I do need a course to trigger me. So true. Thank you both much. And so beyond grateful. Oh, you're welcome, Carl.
Yeah. There's so many courses here.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do, and take advantage of that. Make your life easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also I feel more like your trigger is not going to be the information coming in the mediumship. Your trigger is going to be when you go on one-on-one, when they bring you out of the group, or you go one-on-one when they separate you in the class and you meet all these different people. And when you have somebody sitting in front of you, is all of a sudden going to go, oh, okay, there it is. I think that's how it's going to happen for you, Carl. It's going to be more when you go into breakout rooms. That's what it is. Breakout rooms.
Yeah.
So anything else?
No, I love that. I think mediumship is, again, giving and receiving at the same time. It's like, it's a level up. Like when you start taking a course and then you go in and do it, whether it's healing or mediumship or intuition or whatever you're working with, it's all the same. It's all energy.
It is. It's all the same. And also, whenever I was before I took any kind of classes, I had already connected to my dad. And of course, I was already a medium before I took a medium class.
Yeah.
And so I was very comfortable already with that. But I'm feeling like that's what the medium class is going to help you do, is get comfortable with meeting your guides and your relatives that are on the other side, that are going to help you, lead you into what you're supposed to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Viviani has a question.
Oh. I would love a message from my guide, frequency and or other galactics, please, and thank you.
Okay. I'm going to be pulling out of my secret language of color cards.
Ooh.
Yes. I was wondering why I pulled these cards out, even though I love these cards, but sometimes they direct me on which ones to pull out. And I get green, jade. Oh, take action. Look at that. Take action. Whatever you're thinking. I'm going to look, you go ahead, and I'm going to look in the book if there's some more information in the book about that. But I think that's whatever you're thinking about, it's time to take action.
Yeah. They're bringing in to me a lady in a veil, Viviani. That could be a galactic. That could also be Mary Magdalene. We actually were talking backstage about her before we came on. Or also that could be Our Lady of the Lake, and going into that energy.
And this is so appropriate. It says, whatever you have been putting off doing, just do it. Let go of any excuses and take action. Think of what you would love and surround yourself and your desires with a jade light. Say, I can do this. It's easy. The universe supports my goals and dreams and manifests them into physical reality. So it's time to take action. Whatever you're thinking about, jump in.
Yeah. And I get that too, like evolution, trust, the Merkaba. Take your power back, cleansing your fears and trusting in the universe. And that's what we were talking about before. And Viviani, your channel and your work right now are just, you're on fire.
Yeah.
So you're definitely doing that.
But I think she might be this. I'm planning a move. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
And manifesting. Yeah. You're getting ready to manifest everything.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that. And Sonia is here, Heavenly Blessed Honey, and she had to leave Florida for the hurricane. So she says she's hanging in there. It's so good to see you here, Sonia.
Yes, and what says sounds like that message is for him too.
Oh, good. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So Heavenly Blessed Honey, let's see what she's saying here. Oh, dismiss the wrong. It keeps moving. I'm trying to get this moving.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here, you guys. Sorry. We've got both channels on. Still at your daughter's. I think that's in the Midwest, isn't it? So, yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're safe, dear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all right. Well, we're going to take one more question, and I'm going to look down here to see who we have maybe that's new, and we have not answered any of their questions before. Do you see any right offhand?
Oh, let me look and see.
I'll pull it up.
Seashell in the Sky.
Okay. How far down is that?
1156.
Okay. Let me pull that up.
She says, Oh, did you find her?
Not yet. Go ahead and read it, and I'll try to find.
Okay.
I might not be because it's so far.
Yeah. She says, I would love a message from my galactic family if possible, and thank you. Seashell in the Sky.
Seashell in the Sky. That's a great name.
Isn't it beautiful?
You go ahead, and I'm going to still look for her. You said it was 11:56?
11:56 my time. So that would be
12:56 my time.
Yeah. Seashell, they're showing me all different colors. So that could be your chakras. That could also be trying out different modalities of whatever you're working with. It's like you've got opportunities here to shift into different color coding, whatever energy that you want to be with. It's like you've got all these different choices to take. But they want to make sure that you're in your well-being. So I pulled that card for you, and that's all about abiding in your heart and making sure that your physical body is safe or well, but not only that, your emotional body and your light body, because all your bodies are fine-tuning right now. And sleep. Yeah, you're being called to get some sleep and kind of relax into it. And at the bottom, I pulled intention. Oh, and look who she's writing. Pegasus.
Pegasus, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
would ride my Pegasus. That looks like fun. I hadn't even thought that my Pegasus could take me up on those cliff climbing adventures.
Yeah, and the lion.
It could take all of us. The lion, with but the white rabbit. But anyway, I pulled out of my Starseed Oracle deck, and this says the courageous peony, and it's like a flower, and it's saying a multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. And this is what Terry's always talking about. Fly your freak flag. Let everybody see you. Don't hide who you are. And I know probably being here is probably a big step for you. And if it resonates with you, please come back and join us. But this is a safe place for us all to be talking about things that are going on, and we all understand and accept what's happening to us. So it's time for you to step out and show yourself. So there you go. Anything else, Terry, on that one?
No, I feel like you've got all this energy around you, Seashell. Like you can take it any direction you want. You're coming into your own here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina's saying being seen is positive, a positive thing. Yes,
Yeah.
it is a positive thing, but sometimes it's hard to do, especially your family. You don't have to come out to your family and everything at this time, but here in this group, you can come out and fly your freak flag as much as you want. We have good moderators that are helping us make sure it's a safe place. So this is a good place to be here and be who you are. All right, everybody. Any last words? What's your next show, and what are you doing, Teri?
Well, I've got let's see. Tomorrow I'll be on with Allie, Heart and Soul Connected, at noon Central, and then I'll be on with Nancy Jean. So Nancy Jean's Garden on Monday. How about you?
Well, I'll have a show on Wednesday, and I think this Wednesday is Mary. I think we have Mary to be on this Wednesday, and that's about it right now, I think. So,
Yeah. And
oh,
well, anybody that's going to Sedona, I'll be there too. So there's a retreat next week.
yay!
Yeah.
So I went to, I went to Sedona. I just drove in and out and went to Flagstaff and stayed there. So it was so crowded, and Danny was talking to me the whole way through, and I'm going, Danny, I'm leaving. He's going, where are you going? Flagstaff. I'm going back to Flagstaff. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm sure you're going to love it. So anyway, everybody, thanks for joining us today. Thanks, moderators, for being here, making a safe place, and we will see y'all later. All right, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.